So welcome back guys, you are watching Rising Code Zera, and in this video we are going to solve the problem statement 2, which is based on the previous concept which we have just seen. Okay, so in previous video we have just seen that we use a for loop, and while using for loop we can just create a copy of an array. So here's the question which we are just going to see. And you got the array and you get the numbers as well. Now let's move to the next slide. Now if you see, we want to do one thing and we are just going to divide the array in two parts, two equal parts. Okay, so how we can do? So for that we need a left point which is going to be this at the position that is going to be in index number 0. Okay, at index number 0 there will be a left, and at this index number 6 there will be a right. Okay, how you will get right? Right is equal to array.length minus 1. This method you can just use and you will get the right variable. So we are just going to create two variables. There will be left variable, there will be a right variable, and inside this you will get the point. Okay, we know that left will be all the time 0. Okay, at this point, and right is going to be array.length minus 1. Now moving to the point, we want the middle point for dividing the array. To divide the array we need a midpoint. So for that what we can do, we will just use a formula which is going to be mid is equal to right minus left divided by 2. So we are just going to do subtraction of right minus left and divide by 2. So what will happen? It will be 6 minus 0 and you will get 6. 2 3s are 6. So at this point this will be the midpoint. Let's see in the next slide. So we got the point, mid is equal to right minus left. So right is 6 minus 0, you got, okay, you got 6, 2 3s are 6, and mid is equal to 3. So here you can see we got the midpoint, and here I have just created a wall. So midpoint is going to be this. So how the array is going to divide? It is going to divide in this way. We will get this is going to be your array number 1. So you can just say this as left array and this will be your right array. So in this way it is going to be divided. So why we are just learning this? Because we are just going to see the merge sort upcoming videos. So for that we are just going to practice these things, because in merge sort you just divide and then conquer. So we are just going to see all these things, but for example first we are just going to see how we can divide this array in two parts, and this is the formula which we will be using there as well in merge sort. So that's all guys, and you got the mid which is equal to 3. So this is all the thing which we wanted. So we will get the array number 1 which is going to be 135, 510. Okay, so you got this array number 1 which will be at this point, and this will be your array number 2. So what will happen? We got the two arrays. So this will be the left and this will be the right. Okay, in merge sort what will happen? This will be your right, and again we are just going to divide it. So we will see it over there. But for right now, if we want to divide it, we will have this variable mid. So we will say mid plus 1. Okay, and we will start from here to here. Okay, we will just see all these things while coding so that it will be more easy to understand. So let's move to the code. Alright guys, in previous video we have just seen this program, write a Java program. We have just copied all the elements which were present inside the source array, and we have just copied it inside the target array. Now it's time to solve this problem statement 2, which I have just explained you guys right now. And you can just see we are having this array similarly, and we are just going to divide it. So let's move to the code, and you can just get the notes and source code inside description. So here we are back to our Visual Studio Code, and you get the problem statement number 2, which we just have to divide given array in two parts. Okay, so here you will get this array. We just have to divide it in equal parts. Okay, so what we are going to do here, we are just going to create this array. So I'm just going to copy this for right now, the main array. Okay, we can just paste it. It is going to be of integer type, and that's all. We have just created the array. Now what we have to do, we are just going to use the formula which we have just written over there. So we need two variables. The first one is going to be the left, and we know that left is 0. In this case left is going to be 0. So similarly we'll just move to the right, and what will be the right? Right is nothing but it will be array.length minus 1. So array.length. Why we are doing minus 1? Because you know array starts from 0 index. So what will be the midpoint? Midpoint is nothing but we know that we are just going to say right minus left divide by 2. Okay, right minus left divide by 2. We are just going to create a bracket. Okay, and after getting this you will get the integer value. So let's log it to the console. What will be the index number present over there? So I'm just going to write system, and here we are just going to write the mid. Okay, what we are going to log? We are just going to log the midpoint. Now what will be the mid? Basically mid should be this. Okay, that means 3 index, because what will happen? 6 minus 0 we are doing, and you get this 6. Okay, 6 minus 0 you get this 6, and 2 3s are 6. Okay, after dividing you will get the 3. Let's see what is the output. We got the 3. Okay, we are happy with this. Let's increase some number and just test it with some numbers as well. So we will just add 2 more numbers, 50 and 30. I'm just adding it So what will happen, this will be your 7 at this point, and this will be your 8. Now what will happen, 8 minus 0, you will get 8, and 2 4 the 8, so 4 should be the midpoint. Okay, it is working fine. Up to now it is working fine. A new array, we will just create two separate arrays. Okay, we need a left array and we need a right array, but before creating that array we need an index. Okay, that means before creating that array we need how much elements are going to be stored inside that array. So how we can calculate it? So we are just going to create a variable, and that is going to be the index, left index. Okay, so left index is equal to what we can say, how we will get the left index. That means how many numbers are going to be present inside left array. Now we know, if you see at the top, we got these numbers. Okay, so from where we have to start, we have to start from 0, and where we have just to end, we are just going to end at the midpoint. 10 is going to be the midpoint at this point, because we know 3 is present, 3 index having 10 number at it. So we can say mid minus left. Here is a formula, we can say mid minus left, and if you see what will happen, we are just going to log this as well, so that it will be okay. We will not log it. So what will be the mid value? You can just see right now the mid value is 3. Okay, we are just going to get the index. Okay, so 3 minus what is left, you will get 3. But we are not going to copy 3 values, we are going to copy 4 values. So what we are just going to do, we are going to say plus 1. So what will happen, mid is 3, 3 minus 0, it will be 3, and plus 1, it will be 4. So we want array of 4 sides. How many sides? We want array of 4 sides. So as you know, the indexing is starting from 0, so that's why we need to do here plus 1. Okay, so that is the thing. Alright guys, I have just created some comments over here, and one thing I'm just going to do, I'm just going to write here one thing, and it is going to be the mid value, so that when we will just run this, we will just understand that this is the mid value. Okay, this is the mid value. Okay, and I have just written calculating index of new left array. So how we will get it, we just know that we use this formula, mid minus left plus 1. Create a new left array which will store the values of new created array. Now we are just going to create an array which will be the left side. Okay, so we just give it integer left array. Okay, you can give any name as per your choice. We have to write here new, and then it will be integer. Now inside this we have to pass the number, that how much size will be of that particular array. So basically what we have just done, we have just created inside this variable, so it is stored inside this variable. We are just going to copy this and paste it. Okay, now after pasting this, the array has been created. So we will just use a for loop, and we will just write I is 2, and we will say left array, and you can just print here system dot out, and inside this you can just write I plus, and we need a space, so I'm just going to create here space as well, and we will just write here system dot out dot println. Okay, now when I'm just going to run the code, what will happen, it will show the blank spaces. Okay, basically 4 we got the number, and the left array is of 4 numbers only. Okay, so up to this point it is really fine. Now the thing is, we have to place the numbers inside that array. So how we can do this? So here guys, we are just going to use a for loop, and we are just going to say integer of I is equal to 0, because the indexing. Okay, so what will happen, we are just going to start from this, and the indexing for this array which we are just creating, the left array, this is going to start from 0 index, and plus we are just going to copy from the original array, and this is also at the 0 index. You can just see the 100 value. Okay, so here we will say I is going to be equal to 0, and I should be less than what? It should be less than left array index which we have just created. Okay, so basically it is 4 at this point. What is the value? What will be the value? Mid minus left. Now what is the mid? You got it 3 minus 0 and plus 1, 4. So it is 4. Right now this is 4. So we want less than 4, because our indexing is going to start from 0. So 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, 0 1 2 3 up to 0 1 2 3. So we will say I plus plus, we write left array, and inside this I'm just going to say I is equal to, now here the original array name is ARR, and what we have to do, we have to start from where? If you see, we have to start from left. So we are just going to say here, so from where we are just going to start, we are going to start from left, plus we are just going to do I, and that's all. So what will happen, left value is 0. So at the first iteration it will be, okay, left value is 0, and 0 plus first iteration is 0. So it will move at 0 index, and 0 index is 100. So 100 will be copied. It will be moved inside left array of I, which is going to be the 0 end. And then after that it is going to iterate by 1. It will be 0 plus 1. So it will move at 1. And what is 1? If you see, let me minimize this size. So at one position you will get 30. So 30 will be copied, it will be placed inside this left array of 1. So when we will just run the code, you will get the values. Okay, now if you want to see it one by one, what we do, we just move it up, changing this variable. Alt I will just use here, and J. So you will get line by line that how it is just inserted one by one. So you can just see 100 was inserted first, then 30 you got, 500, and then 10. Okay, so now we are just going to create a right array. So for right array, what I'm just going to do, we will just copy all these things from here. I'm just going to copy this, and this will be for the right array. Okay, calculating index for new right array. So we will say here RIGHT, and left index. So I'm just going to replace it with right index, RIGHT, right index. So similarly you can just move over here, right index, and here as well, and we are just going to replace it with right index, and this will be your right array, this one, and this one. So this will be your right array R. Okay, and what will be the size, and that as well we are just going to see right now. If we calculate the length for this right index, okay, so what will happen, it will have 1830, and what will happen, we are just going to say 6 minus 3. 6 minus 3. So when we are just going to say 6 minus 3, the mid value, basically 6 minus the mid, you will get 6 minus 3, which is going to be 3. And how many elements you are going to keep? You are going to keep 3 elements only inside this. Okay, 3 elements only inside this. So because of 0 indexing, we are just going to do mid value. Okay, so what we can write here, where is it? So you can just say here that right minus, you will write here mid, and that's all. You get this size. And what will happen here, what we have to change, just we have to change this. Basically we are not going to copy from 0 index, we are going to copy the numbers which are going to start from this index, which is going to be your mid plus 1. If we see, so it will be mid plus 1. So what you can do here, where is it? So you can just write here mid plus 1, and plus we have to write here I. Okay, now I think this will work. Let's see, you got the numbers. Okay, and that's all. You can just move again this at the top, and you can just see all the iteration one by one, and you got the point. I think you got the 1, then 8 and 30. So thank you guys for watching this video, and this is all about this today's video.